Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for day 2 of the Ashes. Now, a little bit of a surprise last night. England declaring with 393 on the board, deciding they wanted to have that last little crack at the Aussies before the end of the day. Unsuccessful. Warner sitting there on 8 runs off 13. Khawaja sitting on 4 off 12. Only 82 overs in the day as well. It's myself and it is my dad. What do you think of the first day? Was there any surprises for you?
Well, the surprise was the declaration,
especially
with Joe Root still out there on 118. For 4 overs, it was sort of a half by nothing declaration, really. They could have had another whack for another 4 overs, scored another, 30 or 40 runs.
I think they were definitely hoping for that quick Warner wicket, weren't they?
Yeah,
but they almost got, because the running between the wickets from Khawaja and Warner was some of the worst I've seen between the two of them. Khawaja had to dive back and dirty his gloves without even facing a ball. Warner was yes, no, and all over the place. Day 2, Jimmy Anderson.
Jimmy
Hang on. What'd they just say? I think that there's going to be a little bit of a delay. Shouldn't be too long. 5 past, they should get underway. So it's 7 minutes until the first ball.
Right. Why are they doing?
Yeah, how does that happen? Someone like sleeping
or what?
Yeah. To be fair, if they had a breakfast buffet, I'd be spending as much time as I can in there before the start of the day too. We have got Far in the chat. Hello, Far. Said who's in the commentary box tonight? It is myself and my dad. Xavier's asked you a rugby question. He said, how do you see the Chiefs and Brumbies game today? Cheers, Xavier.
I think it'll be a tough struggle. The weather forecast is not very good, so it'll be wet, which will bring both teams closer together. Huge defence from both teams. Maybe late try to the Chiefs.
Sounds familiar.
Chiefs just get up, I think.
Okay. Yep. Fair enough. There you go.
Where's Xavier from?
He is Australian.
Okay.
Just showing there, New Zealand versus England, the way that Joe Root's playing. He's got his stance a lot smaller. That's so that he can get that step into the ball, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or also just play it right under the eye line. It was a weird game, wasn't it, in some regards? Because a lot of people, like I had a few people in the chat who were saying, oh, this is boring. There's no tries. But it's a different kind of rugby when it's close, isn't it?
It is a different kind of rugby. But what it has highlighted is that defence can completely and utterly shut down a game, which is sad. But they've kept changing the rules. And unfortunately, they've got to the point now where defence dictates what happens. And if you have 2 good defensive teams, it proves very, very hard to actually score a try.
Would you also say that neither side took huge risks at the same time, though? Because those kicks from behind did nothing, did they?
No, there was a fair bit of forcing back and a fair bit of just sort of general play in the middle of the field. Ultimately, I think the Chiefs probably had the better of the game and spent more time attacking. But with the shutdown defence, I don't think there was a penalty for offside in the whole game. But defensive line's very, very flat, speed off the mark, shut down any chance of any sort of backline play or anything like that. And, that's what they've done. They've ruined rugby. Turned it into a defensive spectacle where one team can't get the ball, the other team can hang on to the ball for long periods of time and effectively go nowhere. All the play is basically generated from behind the game line, which means that 90% of the time you're trying to play catch-up rugby to get back to the yardage that you actually gained for a start.
Did that answer your question, Xavier?
Oh, sorry.
I know. I was a Press Melbourne Rebels fan, Hamish's dad, says Xavier. Yeah, he's a Rebels boy through and through.
Oh.
And they've lost, he mentioned last night how they're losing about 4 or 5 other players. They're going to different clubs.
Yep.
Always tough for those sides that are outside of the top 8 because everyone goes, oh, there's a chance to be in a side that's winning a few more games. I'll go for that.
Yeah.
Because you always look better on a winning team, don't you?
Yep.
Those players who look good on a losing team that you normally think, okay, well, they've got a good chance. And we were mentioning there was a little bit of rain before the game for today. Hopefully stays away for the whole of this session with a little bit of luck. But I'm wondering whether or not that little bit of rain could cause a bit more
Maybe just freshen up the
maybe for
pitch,
the
a little
wicket.
bit of sweating underneath.
Mm.
Mm.
Melbourne have rebelled against winning. I managed to give my fan into a birthday party. There's Brandon. Yeah, Brandon has now turned 26
Oh,
for himself, and they call me Big Papa B. Says Gareth. He's also been drinking, I learned.
funnily enough, it would have been your grandfather's birthday today.
Was it?
Yep.
Ah,
Uh-huh.
there you go.
Mm.
Oh, yeah, it was 17th of June, aren't we? The thing is, I have no idea what day of the month we are at any stage,
Uh-huh.
unfortunately. Like, if someone in 3 days' time told me it's the 1st of July, I'd almost believe them. Just because, like, that's one thing with doing, like, live streams every weekend. I see it as Friday, Saturday, Sunday, not as the date that it is
Oh, yeah.
on my schedule. I just got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I'm just like, right, I got to get this done by then.
Right, umpires are heading out.
Papa Jack says far. Right, Jimmy Anderson didn't bowl last night. There's 2 overs from Ollie Robinson, 2 overs from Stuart Broad. They did actually end up going for 9 runs in the end, Broads. So, like, it's not bad, is it? It's not exactly Baz ball, but Warner was a little bit aggressive. Kawaja looked like he was a ticking time bomb to then go out. Unfortunately, I'll
Okay.
be honest, it didn't look good. That angle of right-hander bowling across him. In English conditions, I think he averages about 16 compared to 60 if they go over the wicket to him
Oh, yeah.
or around the wicket.
Yep.
It's just his footwork. He's very, they were talking about it as well. Ricky Ponting was saying there's minimal footwork from Kawaja. He's actually almost looking like he doesn't want to step to the ball, getting caught on the crease, which can be dangerous.
Mm.
And
Especially if we can get a little bit of movement.
Happy heavenly birthday, Grandad B, says
Thanks,
Grant.
Gareth.
And was Grandad B from New Zealand? He was, yeah. Just over that way. Stuart Broad. Going to be opening. He hasn't got a robot to fight with in this Ashes series so far. That was quite an enjoyable part of the 2021 Ashes, wasn't it? Quote of the series, stop moving the robot. Oh, Stuart. Then they made up because the robot got a headband like Stuart Broad. One of the best romantic stories I think I've ever heard in the cricketing scene.
Brilliant.
Hamish, when you message me, everyone like, who? I just tell to shut up and they just say, lol. There's Brandon. Are you live at the moment, Brandon, or you must be finished now, I assume, at the live streaming? I like how in the background this part kind of looks like it's slightly raining. You know? Even though it's just like a bit of a glitch in the green screen. I can probably fix it, but I'm worried I'm going to knock it backwards.
Yes. No.
We can't have that.
I'll leave it there while it's there. Right.
Stuart
so we got
Broad.
Stuart Broad to Warner.
And the running has to be better than yesterday, or else someone's getting run out.
Well, there's 2 things that will happen here, isn't it? Warner will be keen to get on top of Stuart Broad.
Yep.
To put the demons of the last series to bed. Broad will obviously want to keep attacking Warner, because if you've got your foot on his throat, you might as well keep it there. So Warner will possibly be keen to get off strike, which of course brings in the run out and the panic.
Yeah. Here we go, trailing.
And he'll be keen to get back on ball.
379 the Aussies are down by. I still feel like England's slightly premature declaration.
Yeah, certainly.
On a good batting surface.
Yep. Right, here we go.
Broad first ball to David Warner. And that squared him up. I thought that was going down leg, but it almost seemed...
A little bit of moving off the seam there, just straightened it up.
It's that bit of moisture doing well for the pitch here. Warner going down to tap down that spot. He's going, no, don't put it there again. And bowl at Warner's head. Aussie Smurf, says Gareth. Yeah, Gareth was having a bit of a drinking party on his drinking by himself.
Oh, true.
Yeah, so you may see some random sentences from Gareth. He means well, is the best description. David Warner now on strike again. And he was very keen to get off the run. Oh, yeah, very keen to get off the mark. Yesterday or last night. It was even today, I guess you could call it. With the time zones. And there was a lot of hesitation. There was a lot of stuttering forward and then going back. him and Kawaja. Kawaja's, they've already mentioned he's not the greatest at running between the wickets. Like, he's quick enough, but he doesn't back up a lot.
Yep.
So for Warner, he wants to do that. Jack Russell, boom, I'm going to go get the ball, get to the other end. Whereas Kawaja's like, I'm chilling. We might run.
We're not in a hurry, are we? Yeah. Right.
Does look a bit dark and dingy in the background from that camera, doesn't it?
It's a bit dark. It's not really the blue, but
a bit more pitched up from Stuart Broad.
What's all that music?
Oh, that's just a notification on that screen.
Okay,
I've learned that the reason it glitches is for some reason this screen. Fun fact, because it was glitching earlier on, I moved what was on that screen to this screen and it completely went fine.
Brilliant.
So I don't know what's wrong with that screen, which is kind of good that we watch sport on this one now, or else maybe that breaks it. I know bugger all about cricket, but I know those Aussie dicks wouldn't declare in that position yesterday, says Flesh. And
no.
Yeah, they would have probably gone for another 100 today, somewhere around there. Quick fire first session and then get them in just before the end of it, maybe.
Yeah, well, they would have certainly dragged it on. Yeah.
Because the run rate that England have been scoring at, they're progressing it enough that, like, on a normal day, you'd expect a team to have, 280, 300 if you're really lucky.
Yep.
Whereas they managed to get themselves almost 400 on the board.
330 if things have gone good for them. Best part of 400 runs in a day is actually, certainly quite high for Test cricket. Especially considering the day was only 80 overs.
Yeah, that's a bit of a shame. Who's that? He's got small glasses on. I'm sure that's someone who we should recognise, but it's hard to tell with glasses, isn't it? Got Broad now. A little bit more pitched up. Weight on. Says Warner hitting it straight back at Broad. And he liked that cover drive yesterday. He got that one slightly more pitched up and he did step into it and smacked it out through cover. He actually had two beautiful cover drives, which is where all of his runs came from. Papa B, Ricky Fowler, how good, says Gareth.
He certainly had a magical day with the putter today.
PGA Tour.
Yep. Ricky Fowler's leading at the moment.
I was going to watch that, but then I forgot it started on Friday, didn't it? Friday morning New Zealand time.
Yeah, day 2, Ryan Fox has just made the cut.
Nice.
He's got a few to catch up with Ricky. He's hitting the ball really, really well. And putted really well in the stuff that we saw this morning.
See, even there, Warner was trying to sneak it. Can you read my message? No, says Gareth. But the message says just finished this video saying download, you say finished. There's Brandon. Tell you what, something that takes a while, when your screens or your Wi-Fi is playing up, you ever tried to upload a YouTube video?
No.
It takes forever. But then it's nothing compared to what we used to have. It used to take me 2.5 hours to upload a 5-minute video to YouTube.
Here's the first Jimmy Anderson.
And the crowd already know it.
Yep.
Ollie Robinson, he'll be like, well, I didn't do anything wrong last night. 0-5, almost got Kawaja a couple times. But I decided to switch and give Jimmy Anderson the crack. The Sultan of Swing. Anderson.
Well, it'll be interesting to see, actually, because if anybody's going to get swing, Jimmy will.
Just the way his wrist works, isn't it? He just creates it.
He's just a swing bowler.
This game started, says Siddhartha. It has indeed. They started about 5 minutes late, didn't they? For some reason.
Again.
I think the wetness, maybe. Yeah, it doesn't help the over rate. The fact that we've probably lost an over just with that.
Yep.
Short game was something else, says Gareth. As they say, drive for show, putt for dough.
Yeah. They played beautifully this morning on the stuff that we saw.
Anderson, nice straight delivery to Kawaja. Now, if that was the other way around and it was England batting, they would have worked that to leg, wouldn't they?
Somebody would have had a crack at it. Yep.
Duck it, work it to leg, take the single.
Yep.
Whereas Kawaja likes to play quite straight near the start of his innings. Unless it's short, then he'll try.
Be a little bit watchful, though. We just wanted to check out whether it is going to swing this morning.
What is a Sultan?
Brother of a Sultana.
What is a Sultan, actually, though? Because it's a Sultan of Swing, so I assume it's like something good of swing, isn't it? Like a master of swing, would you say?
Something like that.
Something like that?
Sultan, I think, is an Indian master or something or other.
Okay. It's also a song, isn't it?
Well, it is, but...
There's that stat that I was talking to you about.
Okay.
Over the wicket in England, 13.25 average for Kawaja. Round the wicket, 66 average. So England would have looked at that and gone, well, we're not going round the wicket to him.
Wow. Yeah, obviously doesn't like the angle across him.
Although I'd love to see what Broad does, because Broad, a lot of the time, will go across. I've realised why my calves grow muscles more than the rest of my body.
Right.
Because
jigging.
I sit there and not only I move my legs, but every time the ball's bowled, when they block it, I tense my calf. For some reason, it's like a reflex thing.
Oh,
It's like in rugby. Every time I end up like seeing a big hit, I tense my legs.
yeah, Sultan's king.
So that's the only exercise I really get, isn't it? Just tensing my calves when there's a block.
Okay.
It would be a bit of a balls up if I get cramped or something or pull a calf while watching cricket. Has anyone ever done that? I mean, have many people broken their ankle playing golf? Ask Johnny Bairstow, eh?
Mm. Yeah.
How does that even happen, though?
I fell in the hole.
I guess the rabbit
knows?
hole, those are always ugly.
There's a few rabbit holes around.
I remember when your brother broke his club.
Stepped off the tee block. Yeah, that wasn't a rabbit hole.
No, he was in the flex bush, wasn't
No.
he? Decided to whack a log with the club, and then, oh no, it's bloody snapped in half. Hasn't been back since, has he?
Nothing like playing with a cabbage tree.
Oh, a little bit leg side-ish.
Yeah,
Because that was when I just came to caddy, wasn't it?
I think so.
You just play and I just walk around with you.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do that again. I don't
So-
play, I just caddy for you.
Ah,
Although I know nothing about caddying.
you could have gone looking for my golf balls today.
Yeah.
You would have needed your togs for one of them.
Oh no. Was that on number 5 or number
Yeah.
17?
Yeah, the
No,
duck
5. I hate that duck pond.
Mm.
I feel like it actually has a magnet in it that attracts balls.
Yeah.
And ducks. Gareth, there's a tune on the channel for you, says Fleshing. Oh, that one.
Yeah,
It had a little bit of
a
movement.
little bit of away movement there. So,
2 maidens in a row for England. Good start to the day.
mm.
No freebies. Was that a... Oh, no. I thought the umpire was saying no ball there. We did see a no ball from Stuart Broad yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, he got a little bit too far out in front. I think it was about his second or third ball.
What dick?
We also saw a wide from Ollie Robinson on the second or the last ball of the day. Well, second last because they had to bowl it again.
Mm-hmm.
There he is, Stephen Smith. He's got a banana. What's he going to do with that? Oh, it's bloody bruised.
What is?
Top of Steve Smith's banana.
Oh,
Look, he's going out the back because he's probably going to throw it in a bin somewhere, find another one.
Huh.
He's got a caterpillar and a half, doesn't he, old Travis Head? And I says, Yucko, welcome in. And was a Mukram. Says far, here comes Stuart Broad. That's a better ball, a little bit fuller. See if Warner wants to try and drive him. But the problem is it's an on drive that he has to play for that one, isn't it, with the angle?
yeah. Brings in that LBW risk.
Mm. Do you think DSC ever sit there going, oh, we got to give Warner 100 pairs of gloves? Like, just tell him to stop undoing the straps and they won't wear out as quickly. Because every time, undo them, the wrist back done up. It's like Steve Smith adjusting his box, isn't it?
I
Like
think he just
Stevens.
likes playing with himself.
Yeah. Well, he does because he shadow bats quite a bit too, doesn't he? I was
Wazzy
gonna-
Mackerel was the Sultan this week.
I was going to say something, but I decided I wouldn't.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah. 8 for Warner. 21 balls faced. So he's only scored 2 boundaries, and I think Kawaja is the same.
Okay.
I think Kawaja's was a leg side flick, if I'm not wrong. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he might have been
Possible for a lefty.
might have been the cover drive actually. Might have pushed at it. He has been pushing because of like lack of foot movement, you see. So he's one of those batsmen who I feel like, unfortunately, he doesn't look set. Oh, hang on, Warner. Advancing down the wicket. Broad not taking any notice of it. He's been watching them do it on the first day and he's been like, oh, I'll have a go at that.
I'll have a crack at that.
But then he's done that before. He's actually advanced and then he tried to leave, I think it was, and he ended up edging it through to the slip cordon.
Yes.
So it's going to be the case of, will Broad stop his bowling spell or will Warner get himself out doing something silly? Because, I mean, it was almost there to turn away to that side, wasn't it? It was close to the back.
Certainly, yeah. Certainly shows his intent, though, isn't it? He's trying to get on top of Stuart Broad. Trying to take away all those demons of, oh, God, he's got me out 50 times.
Pushing that one out through point. Broad thought that was worth a crack.
He just wants so bad to belt Broad all around the place and go, ha-ha, on the man.
Well, that's the thing. 16 times, I believe it was.
Oh,
that Stuart Broad has to miss Warner. Ashwin was second with, I believe, 11.
David Warner was his bunny.
And then Jimmy Anderson's actually got him 11 times as well, I think. So, I mean, of course, because they play them a bit more, you're going to have more
little bit.
dismissals, opening batsmen, opening bowlers. But yeah, that Stuart Broad Ashes 2019 just changed it up. You wouldn't want to miss that. That's relatively straight from Broad, although with the wide angle, maybe going down leg.
Cool.
But you'd have to be optimistic.
I think it's straightening a wee bit, so I don't think it's missing a leg.
Smith shuffling his box, says Fleshen, and also hence the bruised banana.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
And today, Curry Cup game, semi-final match, says Yako. Yeah, there's two matches. The Cheetahs taking on the Bulls and the Sharks taking on the Riquas. No. Is it the Riquas? No, it's the Pumas they're playing. Riquas missing out. I'll stake out from my phone, says Tony. Hello, good Sir afternoon. And India Aussies need to good start, says Naveen. See, he pushes at that a little bit, Warner.
Yep.
And that's going to be another maiden.
There we are. There was 2 maidens in the whole of England's innings. And we've had 3 so far this morning.
Is that down to a lack of aggression from the Aussies or just very good bowling? I'd say very good bowling from England today.
Yeah.
Aussie, I think it was just they couldn't get away with not giving away singles, could they?
Well, they went quite defensive early, didn't they? But they spread the field, especially the sort of the deep point and the deep square leg, which opened it up effectively on both sides of the wicket for anything that was but slightly offline, just got worked for singles. There was no pressure on that square of the wicket.
Anderson again. Kawaja stepping down the wicket. Oh, there's got to tell you what, it was a bit of a hesitant one. Could have had a single there, but don't want to risk it. I remember when Broad hit it to first slip and stood his ground, says far. Yeah, he's had a few moments at the crease, Stuart Broad. I mean, we saw one earlier on.
He was just a bit disappointed he didn't get completely out of the middle of the bat, that's all.
Yeah, the thick outside edge. We saw one yesterday, didn't we? The edge of, who was it who ended up edging it and then the umpire just didn't really know. Oh, it was Stokes' wicket. You missed that one.
Yeah, I saw that on the...
You see how quickly Marius Erasmus went? Yep.
Well, to be fair, he'd actually had a mare with the earlier ones, hadn't he? A little bit of swing there.
Yeah, going away from Kawaja.
Yeah, I think Erasmus had a bit of a mare with the umpiring yesterday, didn't he? He got the first 2 overruled.
Well, they did a bit off the seam as well.
And he missed it perfectly, straightforward. Appeal off Stokes that was later confirmed that it was just a straightforward stick through.
Jimmy Anderson, that's the better ball, getting it to go across him.
That's the one that Kawaja doesn't like.
You can see why Kawaja only averages 16 from this angle, though, can't you? Because there's very little. Watch the feet. Oh, they're not going to show an angle that shows his feet. There you go. He got half a step down the wicket, but not towards the ball, really. No. It was just a straightforward hope that if I go straight here, see, there's only a little tiny toe shuffle.
It's pretty, The ball was nearly past him by the time he actually moved his foot.
Tentative on Kawaja. A little bit leg side-ish there.
Now, Jimmy Anderson's going to hone in on that.
Another dot ball. Yet to go for a run here, Jimmy Anderson in his first 10 balls. Here's a trivia question for you, which I don't know the answer to. What is the most
balls bowled without a run scored?
Yeah, in a test match from a bowler. It's got to be an old school one, doesn't it? Because I feel like they get runs a little bit quicker now in test matches. They seem to like to get it going, don't they? But I'd say like 4 overs, 4 maidens in a row.
It's certainly not giving them anything to hit here at the moment.
No. I think
Anderson right on the money.
Past his use by date, says far.
Yeah.
And who are the Cheetahs playing? The Bulls they are taking on. The Curry Cup semi-final. Stuart Broad is a knob, he is, but he is a damn good cricketer, says Gareth. Oh, what's wrong? No, just discussing the ball. Anderson and Broad, geez, they would have had hours and hours and hours of chatting over the years, wouldn't they?
Working out what side they're shining.
Can't remember what Stuart Broad said in the last Ashes, but he said at one point that him and Jimmy didn't like each other or something. There was something that they were disagreeing on, which made it awkward because they had to Most runs conceded, 210 odd, I think, says Gareth. Oh, from a single bowler. Nicely whipped off the pads there for Kawaja. So Anderson won't have the record.
No, he just got a little bit straight there.
That'll be the end of the over. Kawaja now on strike to Broad. So this will answer our question of, is he going to go round or over? I would think that. I mean, it's a tricky one because, of course, Broad goes better when he's round the wicket, but Kawaja goes worse when he's facing over the wicket. So do you sacrifice maybe a little bit of your bowling to a certain level to try and make the batsman more uncomfortable, or do you go with what you've been doing to try and...
I think you would just go with what he's been doing.
You think?
Certainly, yeah. If what you're doing is not working and all the rest of it and you're looking for a change, then yes, you change. But at the moment, we're only 3 overs in.
Yeah.
You've got to stick with getting your line and length right as a bowler rather than adapting or trying to change just to suit the batsman.
And the big thing here as well is Kawaja may try and go after Broad a bit more with him going around the wicket, which could lead to that outside edge perhaps for him driving at the wrong ball.
Yep.
Because Anderson's given him nothing at the other end. It's just all straight, little bit across him. Whereas if Broad tries to give him a little bit of width here and say, hey, if you want to have a crack, have a crack.
Just looking at the field settings, they've left cover open basically for that drive if he wants it.
With the 4 slips
in
the cordon. So it Broad to Kawaja. A little bit outside off stump, no run taken. Certainly an intriguing battle, isn't it? Through it Broad to left-handers, because it's kind of become what he's been known for in the last little while, is getting rid of those tough opening batsmen who are left-handed.
It's kept him in the team effectively. In all honesty, certainly David Warner helped keep him in the team.
Okay, that's a very fancy stat, saying what his average is by swing direction. What if the ball does? That seems like it's just a chuck a stack together, doesn't it? Oh, that came back in.
That came back in.
Well kept by Johnny Bairstow to get across to it. Have England got a specialist spinner? They've got Moeen Ali, so I'd say yes, but he's also kind of he's a bit of an all-rounder, isn't he?
He's a spinner that bats.
I don't see him bowling as many overs as Nathan Lyon did, though, because I think he finished the day with about 26 or something overs bowled.
Did he?
Yeah, he was just continuing to go, and he almost got a 5 for. I think he was 4 wickets, and then they were like, nah, we've had enough, we'll take our team off. Kawaja now again. Oh, okay, that's an aggressive shot.
Yeah.
Saw that it was a little bit short, so he knew that he could go after it on the back foot if he got it right, and then pulls it away to the mid-wicket boundary for 4. But I guess that's one of those balls that you know it's not hitting your stumps, don't you? And because he's got the lack of foot movement, he actually is in a beneficial position to play off the back foot. Because he doesn't have to worry about going forward then back. It's just like, that didn't move much, did it? The old feet. They don't. They've gone back to Ali. What Jacks need to do, I don't know. Says Gareth, and Leach injured, and yep, says Gareth. And where's Sebat sniffing sniffing his boss's daughter?
I don't think Leach is injured though, is he?
I think they just decided to go with the other option.
Yeah, they chose to bring Moeen Ali basically out of retirement.
Which is such a weird choice.
Yeah.
Because you've also got those couple other young guys for England, the spinners. They've got old, what's his face? Did real well in India, I think it was. Young bloke. A little bit down the order. For some reason, a B's coming to mind. Someone will say the name in a real short. No, not quite Bob. He looks like a Bob a little bit, doesn't he? Bob Charles or something like that.
What?
Man who's sitting in there.
Sir Bob Charles, do you? Right.
It's actually someone they know. We might find out his name. Bob. If it was Bob.
Right. Over the wicket now.
Yep.
Stuart Broad.
Oh.
Wow,
nice.
that's a good leave.
And Leach was in the squad. Leach is ruled out. Leach was in the squad, so he is available, I assume. But they just didn't go with him. That was close to the off stump.
Mm.
Tufnell wasn't quite the name I was thinking of. It's another guy. Was it Matthew Potts that I'm thinking of, maybe?
Tufton was from a wee while ago.
No, Matthew Potts is actually, he's quick bowling, isn't he?
Right.
He's a young guy.
Fair enough.
I can see him.
Okay.
He
That's
bowled
good.
well in the subcontinent.
All right. I'll see if he's got a name on his shirt if you can see him.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that was an edge into the 5-pad, wasn't it?
Hmm.
I think it might have been a little inside edge from
Mhm.
Kawaja to close out the over.
Apart from the one boundary, that was a good shot. Another good over. Certainly not. Oh, hang on a minute. We found a no ball.
Oh, that would be the worst. If you finally get that wicket.
He's got his eyes that close. How the hell can he see? Oh, it's a big no ball.
Yeah, guys, you're right. Leach broke his leg playing. Wait, did he? No, that was old Bearstow on it. Tell you what, golf's a vicious game by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Playing it over there. Do you think he was playing golf drunk, or do you think it was just a weird accident? Like, do you think it was like, oh, go on,
We'll hope
Bearstow?
it's a weird accident.
And it's not Rashid either.
Oh!
Oh, Peach. What a ball from Broad.
That's
He just wanted to have one more at him.
That's beating the outside edge.
Can't believe it. He's laughing about it. That's the end of the over. It's good bowling from Stuart Broad to go over the wicket.
Yeah.
Because that same reason
Just gives it a little bit more of that angle across. It takes it away the leg side quite so easily.
Lovely.
Yeah. If he keeps putting the ball in that position,
Dawson.
then sooner or later there'll be another wicket coming.
Not Dawson. It's going to annoy me because I don't actually have my phone on me either, so I can't Google it.
Sick.
But it's the guy, the young spinner who played well. I think it was in India. He's an off spinner. And he's
English.
Yeah. There was also a leg spinner for England, but we won't go down that route.
Yeah.
He's spinning all around in UK as Will Jacks. Quality Test cricket. This is Distracted Sports. It is indeed. Thank you very much for your donation earlier on, Tony. I think we got a few likes onto Mark's stream. I did get confused though. I had to read it twice, and then my brain finally kicked in and went, "Oh yeah, that's what he means."
Jimmy Anderson.
Ahmed says Liam.
David Warner. They put in a very short mid off here.
Oh, taking on the single. Nicely worked to the side of
Yep.
Stokes. Warner's, I feel like he's one or two boundaries away from being comfortable. He just needs to get through this opening spell of bowling.
Yep.
While he's at it. Embry.
John Emery. One from the past.
It's going to really annoy me because I can see him.
Oh, yeah.
I can see him bowling. Got a 5 for, I think, while he was in India. Or Pakistan. I think it was India, though. No one gets a 5 for in Pakistan because everyone has to declare. Kawaja sitting on 9 runs off 31. A little bit leg sidish and quick hands from Kawaja, whipping it off the pads. And there's going to be 4 runs.
Poor ball down the leg side.
Kawaja now moves up into double figures. Home for an edge for Davey Dum-Dum, or Dum-Dum, Sports. Warner's only got one fan, and that's Ruth. Other than that, no one seems to like Warner very much. Oh, here's one for you, Tony. You are a sports connoisseur of sorts. How many runs is Warner getting before he gets out? That's the question. 13 off 33. Rehan says Skip. No, still not the name. There's a guy, and did he have glass? No. I keep thinking Bo Webster, but it's not Bo Webster because he's the Aussie fella. But I'm going to Google it straight after the stream and be like, oh, that guy.
It's always that guy.
Charging it again, Jimmy. He's got a couple looseness. It's a little bit better lofted, almost from Kawaja, a little bit uppish. Could have been from the lack of foot movement. They're going to be able to get. There he is, Dom Bess.
Brilliant.
Good old Dom Bess. Where's Dom Bess? Is he in the squad far? That was all I needed.
That didn't take long, did it?
I said that there was a B, didn't I? That's where we got Bob from. So it was the last name starting with B rather than. Dom Bess, eh?
Right.
I feel much better now. I feel like a weight's lifted off my shoulders.
Cool.
Jimmy not happy. He's having a chat with Stokes, trying to work out the field now. Because it seems like all of a sudden Australia have gone, we want to be a little bit more aggressive
Just got
here.
a little bit more freedom, haven't they?
Ollie Pope, reaction times here. Going to be important. Does go through him though, so that will frustrate Anderson. Because they kind of set the field right. It's just they didn't quite have the fielder there be able to stop it. Single taking Kawaja now moves up to 17. He was on 9 just before, wasn't he? He's all of a sudden ticked up. Pushing big time though at it, isn't he? Keeping that elbow high. 31 wickets and 12 tests for Don Bess. Says far, although he's playing in some pretty tough games. To be fair to him, and he doesn't normally get much of a bowl. So, I mean, there's always room for improvement. I'd like to see him in there maybe rather than Mo and Ali. I'd rather a young guy get the chance than dragging a grandpa out of retirement.
Yeah.
It's harsh. Oh, yeah.
There's a bit of shape there, isn't there?
A little bit more pitched up for Jimmy Anderson
He's
there.
going to get it in the right place, but he's trying to tempt him. He's tempting him to push through the covers.
It's just whether or not they've got that field placement right, isn't it? Someone there, if he does end up missing it, that's a weird looking light stand, isn't it? Drax. They got written on the side. What's Drax?
No idea.
What's Hobgoblin?
No idea.
That's another one they got written around the ground, but a Hobgoblin about. Oh, already checking the ball. Now, the Aussies checked the ball as well because their ball, actually, they did need to replace it at one point because it wasn't really doing what they wanted it to. Gave it to Steve. He just crushed it in his hands because of all the pent-up frustration. And then, yeah, it was out of shape.
Stephen.
Good old Stephen, eh? Right. Once again, Warner versus Broad. Broad so far bowling 3 overs today. I'd say he'll do a 5-over spell, unless he goes for a lot of runs here. Perhaps they'll only give him this one. Now Warner. Oh, he's bowled him. He's chopped on. David Warner once again meets his kryptonite. And this name is Stuart Broad. 17 times. Warner chops on. He's smiling because he's thinking, why has it happened like that? Well, I think Broad will get another over now. Gone, says Brent. Yep. Stuart Broad. 15th time. My apologies. I thought it was 17. Chopped on to leg stump. Stuart Broad.
But his feet have just stayed anchored in the middle. He's had a big slash outside off stump.
Yeah.
Is that off balance that he's actually fallen over to the offside after he's played the shot?
I mean,
if you're going to smash it through the covers, you've at least got to get your foot in some direction that points towards the covers.
Although a big thing is, yesterday he was hitting that ball that well that even with that lack of foot movement, maybe could have got the middle, but new day, you got to play to the conditions.
It's an awful shot. It's an awful shot of frustration, basically. They haven't given him anything to hit. He hasn't been able to get anything away. He gets a ball that's a foot, 18 inches outside off stump, and he just has an almighty slash at it.
Go on. And also on your Broad, he's done everything wrong there, says Grant. Yeah, you wouldn't show that to a child and be like, try and replicate that.
Yeah.
But
that's not on the coaching manual of how to play a cover drive.
No. Straight to Sports said hoping for an edge. Got an edge. It was just not quite the same edge as...
Was the inside edge.
Yeah. Now, Labuschagne. The Ashes was actually where this man started his career for the Aussies at international level. He was the injury replacement for Steve Smith back in the 2019 Ashes when Jofra Archer, that missile going towards the helmet of Smith. Now, since then, 39 matches, 3,461 runs, average of over 50. Not exactly a bad player to have found his mark at international level.
And he's best against New Zealand.
29 for 1. I'm just going to have a very quick look. Because if I'm not wrong, England lost their wicket about that same stage too, didn't they? When did England lose their first dismissal?
4 wickets.
Fall a wicket. Oh, 22 for 1, so a little bit earlier. I don't know why, but it just was feeling familiar. But bye-bye, Dum Dum, says Gareth. And no run. I've started doing that in my. You've noticed that, haven't you? I've started going no run. I don't think it's on purpose. It's just because it feels fun to say. Three
Right.
slips,
3
league
slips from
slip as
Marnus.
well,
Yep.
and an aggressive.
Mm.
I'd say that's kind of like a forward mid wicket short.
Short mid on. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would suggest he's going to bowl a little bit shorter.
Oh, Broad winding up the crowd.
Yeah.
He's loving it. The headbands are going to be selling out in England in the near future.
Oh, Marnus has found something to look at down the fairground.
Yeah, someone's in the way. Let's go, says Distracted Sports.
Everybody's looking.
Oh, it's the cops.
It's the Bobbies. Bloody hell.
He's going, are they out of the way enough?
Get out of the way.
Crowd are loving it. Karate Kid. Now, once again, winding up the crowd, Stuart Broad.
After the false start, we're in.
Broad and Labuschagne. I should mention he's back over the wicket edge and taken. First ball. Labuschagne gone for a goal. And Broad is on fire.
How much noise do you think the crowd are making there?
Yeah, right. They'll be doing plenty. Labuschagne first ball. It was outside on wanted to
Didn't
feel
have to
better on
play it.
roll.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at that.
That was impressive.
Got him, says far. There it is. It was why Marnus pushes at it. And then great take from Bairstow because Root looked like he was hiding from that one at first slip, didn't he? He was kind of backing off. Broad.
Doing a lap of the ground.
Tell you what, that was a hard high five to Ben Duckett. Almost sent him backwards.
Nearly bowled him over.
And yes, piss off. Says Broad on fire is something else, and Broad on fire now. Hat trick ball to Steve Smith.
Now, I was hardly worn that chewing gum out.
It'll be fresh as a daisy. Beautiful. We had a feeling about that one. There's Distracted Sports and head. That's a kingpin. No runs. Says yeah. As long as I don't do that next season, I'll be right. Well, I do push it a little bit outside off snub. That's the kind of way I could end up.
He did push.
But it was very much I just want to get some bat on my ball. Or some ball on my bat. Maybe I'll leave. Can Aussie play better? There's Blues Nate. Well, now Steve Smith making his way out to the middle. A hostile crowd. They are definitely not in his corner for this ball, are they?
No.
They would love nothing more than to watch that man walk straight back to the changing sheds alongside his best buddy Marnus.
Average 60. That's impressive.
Marnus average 56. Look what happened there. If you get that good ball Broad, I started
2 leg slips now.
2 leg slips, men all around the bat. Man actually dropping to more of a mid-wicket or short mid-wicket rather than a short mid. Stuart Broad telling the crowd, wind it up again, boys. We're going to get him. There we go. Stuart Broad to Steve Smith. First match of the Ashes. Hat-trick ball. Down the leg slide. Now, was that on purpose? Maybe just a little bit too far down leg side, but it seemed like with 2 leg slips.
Tried to get him to chase it and follow it.
Yeah, see whether or not he was willing to. And he did step over a little bit, just a bit too wide though, because he thought about it and then he gave it up.
Yeah.
He's already got 3 hat tricks. Says Burning 1 AC. Sadly, won't be adding that one to the list. And not a great nut, that says Distracted Sports. No, not quite what you wanted, unless, of course, maybe it doesn't look good.
They had a sneaky wee plan there, I think.
There we go. This will be the better ball. This one's straight. On Broad. Yes, it was. Middle stump would have been rattled.
Kept the same field with the 2 leg slips. Yeah.
And that has been from Steve Smith's recent form. You've actually, we've seen a lot of the time where he's trying to hit the leg, whether it's a pull shot or whether it's a feather. He does actually quite often hit them in the air down there. The Evme is Broad good at this game, says Grant. Oh, sorry, says Gareth. Lively, says Gareth. Yeah, it's all on for young and old at the Ashes, pushing at that one. Great take from Bairstow because that almost slipped out of the hands.
Joe Root wasn't getting that.
No, he went like this, didn't he? Kind of.
Joe Root's hands were about his knees.
Oh, tell you what, that's 2 balls straight on middle stump from Broad, but nice whip off the pads there. Mo and Ali gonna have to test out the older legs. Does manage to cut it off, and they get back for 3. Kawaja would have been witnessing this all at the other end, like,
Yeah.
I don't want to move. I'll prefer to be
I'm
down
down
this
this
end.
end.
Because if I'm being honest with you, I thought it was going to be Kawaja dismissed first.
Hmm.
And I definitely wouldn't have guessed Labuschagne before either of the openers in terms of wicket prediction order. Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed him to go out before the 2 openers had been out. I would have guessed it was once again the Labuschagne Steve Smith show.
Oh, is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Oh.
Right. Kawaja. Last time I mentioned about this man's bat, he went out, didn't he? That was in the World Test Championship final. I was talking about the oval handle, so he had more feel. All he felt was the outside edge.
Yes, he did too.
Now Kawaja, last ball of this Broad over. Does leave it alone. Great over from Broad.
Big over.
Next changing could be said there. The crowd giving him the standing ovation for that one. Only Indians watch cricket for the batsmen. This is what cricket's about. The bowlers, says Gareth, and the Ashes are just special, aren't they? They are. We covered it 2 years ago, which feels weird to say because when I think about how long we've been doing YouTube, it doesn't feel like it's been like over 2 years. We've been doing it for almost 3 years now. We chose a year. That was the chop on, wasn't it? I feel like we started at one of the worst times in terms of getting rugby content because we did it just after the first, like the World Cup. We've done the whole World Cup cycle up till the World Cup almost now.
4 years.
Almost. We started mid-year, so it was maybe about 6 months after the last World Cup that we started. And whereas Kawaja ranked, he's high elsewhere. I don't know about in the top batsmen around the world in terms of the rankings. I know that Labuschagne's number 1 in Test batting, and that's exactly how many balls he faced.
Well, he got top 3.
Smith's up there too, isn't he? Who's the other in the top 3?
Head.
Travis Head. Oh, yeah, because he go all right, doesn't he?
Yep.
Half the Englishmen didn't know what to do there when Broad picked up second wicket. Australia 3 batsmen in the top 5. Here we go. Steve Smith, leg slip. I'd call that a leg gully too, wouldn't you?
Steve's swinging about something in the crowd.
And it's the Sultan of Swing, Jimmy Anderson, who will be bowling. Plenty of men behind the bat, looking for those edges. Oh, keepy ups. You're allowed to do that still. I know that it's like not really aggressive and whatnot, but like you're not allowed to scuff the ball. So you're allowed to kick it around a little bit.
Hard to say.
Definitely when it's half misshapen, they might get a new ball. Strategic. Still trailing by 361. 1% swing compared to 0.5 for all of yesterday. The overcast conditions as well, possibly playing factor. Yeah, if he misses those, he's done, isn't he? But the problem with Steve Smith is he never misses those.
Doesn't miss very many. Fives on average of 60.
I wish I could play the leg side. You know how bad I am at that, don't you? I have no leg side shots. None at all. Offside, don't go too badly. But leg side, nope. Nothing.
Bloody hopeless.
Bloody hopeless. The amount of times I've almost gone out playing it balls down the leg side is quite massive. The Pakistanis used to chew the bloody balls as far. Remember Jimmy's debut in the Ashes, looking like he plays bass guitar for the Ramones. Says Gareth. Sure, Broad having a big smile now. He looked sad before he saw the camera. To the leg side from Kawaja, who is sitting on 17. He had that little burst of runs, and then it's quieted
just dried up
right
again,
down.
basically. Yeah, got through to 9, and then all of a sudden through to 17. Now the screws have been just tightened again. Of course, loss of a couple of wickets.
Steve Smith misses the little C next to his name. Says Grant.
Yeah, well, he's been trying to play captain in this, actually, which is quite surprising.
You must have a slog to Cal corner. No, not at all.
No, bloody hopeless. Absolutely hopeless. Aye.
Literally never had one shot that goes well out cow corner and see, I don't have that shot. That guy just played back foot slog out to the leg side.
Yeah.
Something just doesn't work, like in terms of being able to hit it that way.
Ah,
I'm set up backwards. I actually have more chance if the ball's down leg. I have more chance of switch hitting it and playing a like reverse cover drive than I do of actually hitting it out leg side. Which is weird, but I've done it in the nets quite a few times because I keep missing them down leg side. So I just switch the bat and go like that. No aggressive leg side shot. Ashes at the MCG is massive. The crowd says, Nate, we have been in the crowd for an MCG one before. Pitched up. The Yorker slot there. Kawaja driving though. I got a little bad. I feel a little bad for Smith. He ignored that evil Goblins Bears, says Gareth. And I watched the Ashes in a bar in Spain with Spaniards who were caught up with it and loved it. Like me, they had no idea what was happening. I just went to the MCG. It certainly did. There's a picture of me at the MCG, not on the channel, but I actually had short hair. That was the last haircut I had before I ended up with my very long hair. Fun fact, which I don't think did me any favors, did it? In the long run, I feel like it was a stage of, it's just easier. Can't believe my eyes seeing a scorecard with Broad and Anderson bowling in 2023. Says Gareth. They're going to be gone. Obviously, these are the boundaries yesterday. Like you can see there, the foot step to the ball, and then just not enough of a step, a little bit wider as well, which would mean he actually needed the bigger step for it. Almost gets. There you go. Ricky Ponting. He spits a lot of knowledge on the commentary.
Well, Richie Ponting is very, very knowledgeable and a very, very good batsman.
Miss Dale Stain so much, says Gareth. Yeah. He was pretty good in the Melbourne Stars camp not too long ago for the BBL, wasn't he? On Dale. I think that was 2 or 3 years ago. Don Best broke his leg playing golf. Says Far. I'm still trying to work out how you do it, but I feel like there's a story somewhere that I'm sure he described it more, unless, of course, it was made up.
Fell off a tee block or hole. Cut first.
Jumped over a fence to get the ball, maybe, and then coming back over ankle rolled or something. The thing is, though, they would have had carts as well, I would think, wouldn't they? Or would they?
You'd imagine so.
Maybe someone just like.
Probably going to run over.
There's a chance when you think about maybe driving the golf cart or passenger seat got out while it was still moving.
Run over.
Thought that it was going slow, bang.
That could well be the most likely scenario. So breaking legs at golf.
Anyone else having a sneaky whiskey? Says distracted. He's moved on from the wine last night. And not just because the Blues. No, sorry, yeah. Tony's a great bloke, isn't he? You know Tony.
Like Tony moves around a lot.
Steve. Yeah. He's smacking the nuts again.
No. Smacking the legs, kicking grass.
Pulling down the pants. Well, not pulling down the pants, but he kind of did it adjust the pants.
Adjust the jersey, adjust the collar, adjust the jersey, adjust the gloves, adjust the thing. Play with yourself. Play with yourself some more.
Yes, don't miss hit one and went a bit. Yeah.
You can do that.
He's an angry guy. He was angry yesterday when he was batting. That swung a little bit. But he was offering him pretty much a freebie if he wanted to go after it, didn't he? Vodka espresso. Is that like vodka and coffee?
Oh, yeah.
Because that sounds lethal.
I'm neither a vodka drinker or an espresso drinker. So.
George, he had a few vodka Red Bulls a while ago when Stephen was over from Ireland, one of the workers. Stephen loves a vodka Red Bull. So he's going, George, have a vodka Red Bull, vodka Red Bull. And George had about 4, and then he was sitting at home and he was just like wide awake, shaking from the caffeine and the alcohol combining.
Gotta be good for you.
There is that big wide shuffle out to off stump, isn't there?
Oh, you're moving around all over the place.
Now England looking favourites to win this test from here. Says Cody.
Long way to go yet. Long way to go yet.
I wonder whether or not the declaration, if they can get a partnership going here in Australia, whether the declaration could be considered too early. by the time we get to the end of maybe day 2 or
Mm.
midway through day 3, maybe Aussie start to build a lead for
Mm.
the next stage.
Well, I think the big thing is that Aussie won't score 400 runs in the day.
No.
So whatever happens at the end of this day, Aussie are either still going to be batting, or Aussie going to get bowled out, and England are going to be back in the box seat.
Steve or Smith looks disgusting when he bats, says relaxing Kiwi. It's definitely not what you would show, a little bit like Warner's dismissal. It's not what you show a young cricketer and be like, try and do this.
Mm.
Because
Yes,
even
get yourself set and keep your head still and all the rest of it doesn't actually apply to Steve because he's moving around all over the place.
But the weirdest thing is at the point of contact, everything actually ends up in the right spot.
He's getting caught out a wee bit here, though. He's bloody reaching a wee bit too.
Everyone's done that on this pitch. Maybe it's just not quite as quick as people think it's going to be coming through or something like that.
It's just, there's a lot of premeditated bloody foot movement, or a lack of foot movement, and they're just getting caught reaching, I think.
Cheap version of espresso martini. I'm cooking for my wife's mates this afternoon, so I need a boost, says Fletcher. Vodka Red Bull with some rough stuff. One thing jacking you up, the other thing making you pass out. Bad juice that. Yeah. Well, we always thought that Stephen had a screw loose, so maybe that was why. Too many vodka Red Bulls.
Yep.
I see you doing Curry Cup semi-final, Bulls versus the Cheetahs. Are you doing the Sharks game? Going to the stadium for my son's first playoff game, says Rooster. Well, hopefully he ends up going all right. The original plan was to do Bulls Cheetahs. It's slightly changed, though. Controversy. We are now instead going to be sleeping. It sounds like such a cop-out, doesn't it? But the reason we're sleeping is because early tomorrow morning, we are going to be getting some fishing stuff filmed. Mate, what?
Jimmy Anderson down the wicket. Right.
The leg side from Kawaja there.
Leg stump worked away.
Smith looks disgusting, full stops. He's relaxing Kiwi. And yeah, booze a depressant and Red Bull a stimulant isn't a good mix, says Gareth. Yet it seems to be quite popular, doesn't it?
Only for idiots to drink it.
Shout out, George. At Ever Rugby, this is cricket time. This is Ash time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Although, to be fair, the Ashes, I think we are only doing the one session today because of said fishing trip. But it will be with more than just myself and my dad. There's also going to be one of the other Kiwi lads.
Right.
And it's saying, we want your lures. What time is Fozzie picking a team tomorrow? It's going to be 7:30 p.m, so we'll probably be doing about an hour of build-up of that. How we do pick our own All Blacks side and everything along those lines. Probably starting at about 6:30 p.m, somewhere around there. So yeah, that will be a fun stream for tomorrow. And then, of course, after that, we will have the Ashes Day 3 that we will be covering. Not too sure. Are you going to be joining for that first session to see how it's going?
What? Not yet.
Still sitting on 4.
Go to work.
True. Am I working Monday?
You'll be sleeping, you useless little shit. Same as usual. How do we book you in for work when you only get up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon?
That's because I don't know I'm working on the day. If I know I'm working, I get up nice and early.
Well, shit.
I can function off 3 hours of sleep.
Can you?
Marginally.
You struggle to function after 8 hours.
With Western Province out of the Curry Cup, there's no need for you to cover the comp, Hamish. Your mum only cares about the blue and the white hoops. There's Grant there. And fishing is definitely worth an early night. There's Rooster. Although it feels really weird because normally any other, normally for the channel, we end up doing, or we kind of put other things aside to do the streams, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like, hey, we're going to put the streams aside to do something else.
Only because of what time low tide is.
That's true. Low tide's
That's pretty much dictated when we have to go fishing, effectively.
And there's either the option of staying up and doing the games and then sleeping for, that would be 2 or 3 hours sleep and then functioning. But with the All Blacks announcement, if the All Blacks weren't announcing it tomorrow night, it would be a lot easier to sleep late after fishing per se, you know?
Really?
Yeah. You can fish and sleep in one go, says Far. Impressive. Although you probably don't want to sleep where we're going because there's quite a bit of Russian water around.
Yeah.
I'm a Stormers fan living in Durban surrounded by sharkies, says Rooster. This game's hit a little bit of a stalemate.
Yeah, it's just going a bit quiet at the
Gone
moment.
stagnant.
Not a lot happening.
Larger, sitting on
Just ticking
22.
along quietly.
First bowling change probably soon, though. The cover drive again, Pope in the right spot. And that's the end of the Anderson over. He's gone for 17 runs so far off his 5 overs here. 14 overs and 39 for 2. He's very happy, isn't he?
Well, I think managed to catch that last ball. So.
And also, Hamish the Fish Murderer is back out on the rivers, says Flesham.
Fish Murderer?
Yeah, that's from the Carwai days, you know. I'm going to put them down. Yep. So missed Ashes test, says Rooster. It's been a long time since we've had the Ashes, isn't it? 2 years. Feels too long. But then also you can understand why they have the gap in there. But I'm looking forward to the late nights. Ironically, not tonight, but every other late night. That's old mate from the telly, isn't it? He's an actor.
Yep.
What's he been in? He was on V for Vendetta. In fact. Right, here we go. Harry Brook.
Change of bowler.
Now, right arm medium.
Yes.
They didn't go Robinson. They didn't go Moen Ali. Instead, they're going to Harry Brook, the part-timer. 8 matches, 1 wicket. Here he goes. He's fresh. Yeah.
What is this about?
Ponting is confused. And fish is sport, not meat, says Gareth. You know, we put them back. Unless they're dead. Now Brook. Charging forward. How fast is he bowling? 110? Yeah.
Yeah, 110k. 68 miles per hour.
Fishing offshore with boat.
Offshore.
Rooster.
Offshore at the mouth of a big river. So a lot of water. A lot of fast water. Not a good time to be half asleep. You get swept out by a big wave.
Oh, Biesto was celebrating that LBW before the ball was almost even bowled. I was like, Chris Harris says Far and Harry Brook, that sort. Yeah, it seems like an interesting choice, but so far, not a bad one, I guess you could say.
He's bowled 3 good balls so far.
He was doing decently with the bat. You didn't actually get to see him bat, did you? That was second session that he was. I think he had about 30 runs off about 30 balls, in fact, it was. So Ricky Ponting wants Steve Smith to go after him, but perhaps that's what England want. They want Steve Smith to go aggressive here early. And oh, good take.
That's a fantastic
from
take.
Biesto.
That's a fantastic take.
He's very straight on, Harry Brook, in the way that he bowls.
Yeah.
Is he off the wrong foot?
Yep. Yeah, look at just here. Look at the ball, big inswinger. Chris Harris style.
Knocked in the pins over. I thought that was pad. It sounded very soft.
No. That's only 108k.
At the end of the over, Brook goes for 1.
Oh, 100 bad over. Huh?
A
little bit to think about there.
An unfortunate dismissal for Brook. He was batting well. Yeah, one of the unluckiest dismissals, you'd say, of the Ashes. Ended up hitting his thigh pad. Went about 4 metres in the air. Bounced and spun back onto his stumps.
Did you know where the ball was? Obviously not.
No, he can't find it in time.
Oh.
Was he smashing a shawarma? Is Gareth? I think shawarma might be a type of food.
Really?
Maybe. Slow start here. Anderson will continue his bowling spell.
Hmm.
His old Merv Hughes.
Move.
He's there. No matter where it is in the world, he's watching, isn't he?
Well, he does the Aussie tours, I think, so that'll be a contingent of
Mm.
Australians going on Merv Hughes's cricket tours. And I would suspect he'd be a lot of fun on a cricket tour.
Anderson. A little bit of advancing early from Steve Smith there. Just a
Oh.
half shuffle. Going to work it out to the leg side. And they'll just take one. Johnny Bairstow could not see that ball as it was coming in. No one was really caring, were they? They were just
No,
making him run
not
off and get it
so.
himself.
It's not going to hurt us. You'll be right.
Even Stokes, he's an option to bowl as well.
Well, yeah.
So Robinson,
I don't know.
Ali, Stokes.
Don't know whether Stokes is bowling with these bloody injury worries, no, is he? He hasn't bowled for a while, has he? Or
It's a tricky one because he always bowls about 4 overs. Looks like he hurts himself more and then
Yeah.
stops.
yeah, so
And his knee was very, very heavily strapped in an interview before the game I
yeah.
saw.
So you'd like to think that ideally he'll stay out of the bowling side of things, but
Second catcher on this leg, or sorry, the offside. It's aggressive captaincy
just,
from Ben Stokes with the way he's moving the field. But I feel like it's better than it just sitting there letting it happen. Stokes had his knee playing golf. Says far. Marnus threw away his wicket, all that distraction and complained to the crowd did not help his concentration, says Kawasi. Waja now. Waja and Kawasi are kind of close together in terms of names. That's a big full toss from Jimmy Anderson. Well, tell you what, it would catch you off guard. Kawaja's laughing about it. You don't really expect to get that
no.
from someone like a Jimmy Anderson. No Ashwarma in New Zealand, not that we know of.
Down here, anyway.
No. I saw a Bordeaux in the local supermarket recently.
Yeah.
Yep, you know what that is?
No.
It's a big South African sausage.
Oh, thought we were still talking about fish. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Teddy on full toss has killed it.
Oh, Matty Renshaw looks like he's in no hurry to do whatever he's supposed to, running out the drinks and whatnot. Steve Smith probably won't mind changing the gloves after facing 20 balls either.
What's this shit?
They are an hour in, so is that
Oh,
baby powder? Oh, no, it's coconut water or something.
Yeah.
Going to take the Greek, well, not the Greek, the drinks. The city you live in New Zealand, says Kwasi. She's a pretty small one that it doesn't even count as a city. It's a small town, little tiny one. I always say it, and then people are like, I don't know where that is. So pretty much the easiest way of saying it is halfway in between Christchurch and Dunedin, along the coast almost.
On the east coast of New Zealand.
Yeah.
On the east coast of the South Island.
Reut Schwarmer
Oh,
says far. Not quite.
Indian fish.
Oh. Is a shawarma a type of fish?
Trout and carway we're chasing, aren't we? Trout in the river, carway in the sea. The only thing catching fish the other day was the seal, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was stealing all the fun.
Sitting out on the surf there, he was having a right raw time. And he's, he was decent enough. He was showing us that he'd caught fish, wasn't he? Aye.
Ripping them to shreds.
He'd bob down under the water and he'd come up with a nice big fish in his mouth and go, "Here, look at me. I've got a fish."
You wonder how fast they go, don't you? Because when you see a fish swim off, looks quick, doesn't it? But a seal's like, you're mine.
Yep. John, thanks very much for coming.
Smoked trout, nice, says far.
Mm.
Haven't tried smoking a trout, have we?
We were getting smoked out because some fella lit a fire down there, but it wasn't a very good fire.
No.
It was quite smoky. So we were fishing in the spot that we thought was nice for fish, where the seal was catching fish as well. But unfortunately, it was downwind. So all we were getting was the smoke. So we ended up having to shift in the end. But he had the fire going in preparation for all the fish he was going to catch, but he didn't catch any while we were there.
No. Yeah, they say that low tide's when the fish come in, don't they? High tide, but out there it looks like low tide's actually the better option.
Yeah, I think there was just a bit much water floating around, I think. surf was a bit choppy and the river was flowing high. So,
We got through 11 and a half overs in the first hour.
that's not much of a session.
No. Did you see Anderson chasing record of playing most test matches of 200 by session? Test coding? I mean, he's 40 years of age, so he's got to do it soon, I would say, for Jimmy Anderson. Quiet, just getting a few running repairs of the bat. Also having the drinks. I believe this is looking like a relatively quick drinks break, though, compared to the one we had first session yesterday. I think that ended up being about 5 or 6 minutes, although it's not over yet, of course. So they might just be a little while. They're showing the replay of the wicket. Stuart Broad picking up David Warner for the 14th time. Then winding up the crowd and bowled a peach. Well, it's not even a peach. It's just a ball outside off stump, and Marnus made it.
Yep, a little bit of
into a
movement
peach.
away and got the outside edge, basically.
Crowd were absolutely loving it as well. But now back into the action. Still 3 balls remaining of this Anderson over. Steve Smith always looks like he's on the verge of tears. You know?
Sometimes it's hard to live with yourself, isn't it?
Well, I feel like Steve Smith probably has about 6 imaginary friends. They all shadow back together. You know? He seems like he's got a big imagination. You know?
Well, you mentioned that sandpapering the ball was a good idea.
He did. Barmy Army shirt on the back.
Yep.
Brendan McCullum. Talking about Stokes, they're saying that he does. Oh, another full toss from Jimmy.
I just want to see if we can pop a bit more off his back.
Yet another drinks break. 1 ball remaining. Only 124 Ks for Jimmy Anderson. His pace is real low, and I don't know whether that's on purpose or not. I think that might be just to test out whether or not.
So he can surprise them with a surprise, slightly faster ball every now and then.
Maybe trying to get it to seam and grip a bit more. Just 2 slips at the moment remaining. That's going to be called as a no run. Into the 16th over, 41 for 2. And he needs to make which only ones he'll get. No, he's got Marnus. Marnus is his best buddy. Trying to think of who else England might try. If they're trying Harry Brook, I wonder if that was a premeditated, like, hey, Brook, you're going to be the first changeover. Oh, no, there we go. It's Ollie Robinson now.
Interesting.
Yeah, they just gave him a crack in the middle. Maybe try and mix it up.
Mix it up a little bit, just a wee variation.
And the good news with that is it wasn't a bad over. Normally when you chuck a part-timer in there, he goes for about 6 and then it's not great, is it? But having a guy go in and only go for the 1 runs isn't completely terrible. Just watch Chiefs versus Brumbies. What a semi-final that was. 100% credit for the Brumbies. How they played tonight, says Paddy Bug. Yeah, it felt like some sort of final, didn't it? In terms of the closeness of it and, both sides just defensively not allowing the opposition through the territory. I still wonder if that's going to hurt the Chiefs in the final. Not willing to run that ball back after receiving the kick and instead kicking it back to the Crusaders.
I think it'll be definitely something they have to look at because you can't just keep giving the Crusaders the ball.
No.
Because eventually they will hurt you. And if the Crusaders are clinical, you won't get the ball back.
No.
So certainly something they'll have to look at because this aimless kicking it down the field just for the sake of kicking it is the downfall of rugby, basically. It's very hard to get the ball back at the breakdown. So when you've got it, you've got to hang on to it and you've got to make use of it. And the Crusaders proved against the Blues and that they can do that super efficiently. And the Chiefs don't come up with a plan, carry on doing what they did tonight, and I think they'll suffer the same fate as what the Blues did.
Just Strike rate overall isn't really terrible, is it? 22 of 49. Still managing to tick over quite nicely. Solid there from Smith. Taken on. I believe they'll be able to get back for the two here. Jimmy Anderson well fielded.
I think it's just the lack of anything other than boundaries for Kawaja, isn't it?
Mm.
Um,
Root's
I
good.
think that's the biggest thing. He's got 22 runs in that, but there'll be 3 boundaries at least, if not 4. Probably 4 boundaries.
Yeah, he's had those couple to leg, the covered drive.
A couple of pull shots. Yeah. So it's an awful lot of balls for very little other runs.
Blues were robbed, says Far.
Yep, they were. They were robbed of a game plan, and they were robbed of execution. Oh,
that popped.
Mm.
The service, Steve Smith making sure that he tells Kawaja about it.
Yep.
Does he adjust the pads, the box, the pad again? The Robertson, that little bit of extra height might end up getting that bit more.
Yeah, similar to what Boland was doing.
But you forget how bloody good the Chiefs' defence is. That will really test how good the Crusaders are, says Padza.
Yep.
It's going to be a good chess match, and hopefully it's close. That's the main thing. Weird them up.
I don't think it'll be a one-sided affair. It'll be another titanic struggle like tonight, basically. Both teams will be strong on defence. So it'll come down to how they attack. And the little moments.
Packed out there at Edgebaston by the looks of it. Other than maybe those real top seats. A few people missing from them. Robinson now. Last ball is over.
Yeah, the ball's just bouncing up a little bit higher, isn't it? Getting them high on the bat.
Is Kawaja still playing? He is. Yep, he's still at the crease. He's just forgotten how to score runs the last little bit, but I'm sure he'll find the momentum again soon. Just needs that one little bit shorter and on leg side, and he'll whack it, won't he? Plus at home, the Chiefs and the bell's ringing. We're in for a cracker, says Pads Ablaze. Well, that is one saving factor, I would say.
Yep.
Because, yes, people will say last time that the Crusaders played the Chiefs in Christchurch, the Chiefs won. That was earlier on in the season. But in finals rugby, it's a completely different story when the Crusaders are at home. So that's helped the Chiefs a little bit in terms of the chances of winning this game.
Well, you look at the stats. The Chiefs playing semi-finals at home or finals football at home, very, very strong, 100% record.
7 from 7.
Crusaders playing finals footy at home, 100% record. Home ground advantage, very, very important. Home crowd, all the noise, all the hype, and the build up to it, and all the rest of it, not being away from home, obviously a huge advantage.
Moanali taking over the Jimmy Anderson end. A little bit of a start.
You just had to remember how to bowl. It's been that long.
Oh, umpire says no. Well, that one down the leg side. So True Orange Dad, solid thoughts. Here's Blues note. And Australia will want another quick fire 100 from head. Well, that's the thing. Travis Head's one of these guys who has been playing baseball for his whole career. Baseball, who knows? Maybe Brendan McCullum got it from head, you know? He went, oh, yeah, no, he goes, all right, we'll just do that for a whole side. Oh, just hitting the pad, wasn't it?
Clipped a bit of pad on the way past, I think. Grassy wouldn't have seen it. So.
Blocked by Kawaja. He'll probably prefer a bit of spin. Moanali, I've noticed that this probably won't increase the over rate much because he doesn't really steam through his overs. Oh, that's gone up. It's going to fall safely.
There it is. The cameraman's found it.
Who's that?
Some kid.
Yeah, he looks like he's 12.
It does look like he's 12.
Got to turn around. It's probably Don Best. No, it's not Don Best. He's 100 petters is solid. Yeah, he topped it.
Got on to it a little bit quick and hit it, high on the bat. Give it an enormous amount of spin on it.
Managed to right in the block hole there for Mo and Ali.
I would have to say it was almost a false shot, but
Wicket says, Nate, not quite, no. Went up high. If they had a man there, it could have been a chance. Here's Stuart Broad. Apparently off the field.
So that young kid's the sub-fielder.
Hmm.
Glad you missed out there.
That's right. Chiefs beaten Satyrs at home and away this year. Says Beds ablaze.
Yep.
But was it in a final? That's the big thing.
Finals football.
Taukei'aho versus
Finals
Taylor.
football.
Says Far. Yeah, there's going to be a good
Crusaders
fight.
at home, that was an awful game. Crusaders, totally different team at the moment.
I wonder, well, they'll continue Robinson, surely. They're not going with just switching everyone one and one and one and one.
Yeah, we're not doing T20 cricket, are we?
No. Session so far, 14 overs, 31 runs, so not a huge, mate.
Overrate, not exactly.
No.
Very exciting.
And run rates pretty slow for the Aussies as well.
Yep.
But then the good news for them is they can kind of afford to be a little bit slower because of how England played.
Yeah.
But then you can't afford to go too far that way because 2.2 at the moment is too slow to a certain extent. Like by the time you hit, like that's 100 overs for 220 runs.
Yep.
And that only gets you a bit over halfway. Whitelock versus Retallick. Is Whitelock going to be back in time for that one from his injury?
Don't know.
Because I'm interested to see who gets selected in the ABs tomorrow night. Because I always find it weird that they select it a week before the final and then people get injured in the final and then they have to switch them out for different people.
They seem to do it every time, though, don't they?
Yep.
It seems to me that that's the prerequisite for it. It's almost as if they're trying to say, well, it doesn't matter what happens in the final. Obviously, we're only looking at 2 teams in the final as opposed to looking at the whole season and certainly, 4 teams in the semi-final side of it. So you're basically saying that regardless of the form going through the final series, your team's already picked.
But in that case, why don't they do it a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah. Yeah, it just seems really, really strange that you name the All Black team in the week before the finals, because in this case, we're going to have a whole team of the Chiefs and a whole team of the Crusaders. If you're a player on the fringe and you've just missed out on All Black selection, you're going into finals week, a little bit down, a little bit bloody pissed off, sitting there thinking, why have I missed out? What have I done wrong? Does that affect how you actually play in that final? Do you try and do too much and cock it up? Do a Geordie Barrett instead of passing when you should and hanging on to it because you want to score that match-winning try? Does it play on how you play the final, how you play your rugby? And it just seems really, really odd to actually put that little bit of extra pressure. And same scenario the other way. You're a young guy, and all of a sudden you made your debut named in the All Black squad. You're on a super high. Instead of concentrating on playing your game of rugby and doing what you're supposed to be doing, you're thinking about, Jesus, I've made the All Blacks. I'm doing this. I'm going to the World Cup. I'm bloody, going to ring my mum, my grandma, my bloody friends, and all the rest of it. And you're in the biggest week of the rugby year for Super Rugby.
You'll be sitting there as a Highlanders player going, no shot for us. It's been a long time since we've seen them in action, hasn't it? Someone like a Billy Harmon. Hamish thinking a Kit Kat right now. That's weird because I actually kind of was. You could see it in my eyes.
I wasn't, but now I am.
Yeah. I was thinking about
must have an impact on the build-up.
How many Kit Kat chunkies is allowed in a day? My brain's process. You think 10?
At least that many.
I actually asked you a question earlier on, didn't I? Yeah. In the day. I asked you how many Kit Kat chunkies you think you'd eat before you throw up.
Yeah.
So everyone in the chat, same question to you. How many Kit Kats could you eat before you throw up? Let us know. Does it have an impact on the build-up? Says Far.
I think it has to.
I would be surprised if Finley Christie's named in the ABs over Roygard. That's one that I'm like, I want to see Roygard in there. You know?
Really?
Yeah.
Auckland.
I mean Auckland.
Finley Christie.
Yeah, I don't think he's getting in.
Huh? Wow. Okay.
How come? You
You
think he
he'll
is?
be in? No, he's not.
No, he's not in.
He's not in.
Missing out. Because
Excellent.
Roygard, Hurricanes 9,
Yeah.
gets in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the way that the Blues backline functioned, you'd have to have a serious look at their 9 and 10.
Mm.
It didn't help that instead of 12 and 13 out there, you had 1, 3, and 6 floating around, getting in the way and mucking things up. But somewhere in there, somebody has to take some leadership and say, look, all you fat bastards, get back in the forwards where you should be.
Mm.
You're only getting in the way out here. But they didn't do that until the reserves come on, and then they started to play a little bit more football.
Bit of footwork from Kawadra at the start of this over, advancing.
Yeah, well, it's just
And the
they're getting
wicket.
sort of screwed down a little bit, aren't they?
Mm.
They're
It's
sort
full.
of keen to try and get things sort of pushing along a little bit. At the moment, Moen Ali, none for 2, off bloody 1.3. It's the same scenario, isn't it? 10 balls, no runs.
Use the
Yeah.
feet again. Has got it through the gap that time. Ben Stokes chasing after it. I think that ball is
Gonna beat him.
just going to beat him, though. Ben Stokes. 796,786 Kit Kats. The bags ablaze. Give that dead high, says Reed. And I'm not sure Kit Kats.
Hi, Reed.
Yeah, see, I feel like, because your answer was 4 or 5, then you start, a bit sickly after
starting
that.
at a sippy. You probably eat a few more before you actually threw up,
Yeah.
to be honest. But
Video idea.
it just gets a bit sickly, doesn't it?
Title it, how many Kit Kats can Kiwi Lad's dad eat before he throws up? Vomit alert. That's what you got to
Nice.
put in the title, because then people click.
Oh.
Full one, floaty.
Still keen to come down the wicket again.
I don't think he wants Moen Ali bowling.
No.
But then I can't tell who he wants to face because he didn't look safe against the pace either.
No.
Usman Khawaja. I feel like apart from, this is going to sound harsh, apart from about 5 shots, he hasn't looked great at the crease.
No.
Would you be in agreement with that?
He certainly hasn't got the freedom that he had earlier in the year. Where he just looked fully in control of what he was doing.
Yeah, the footwork's not there
No.
at the moment. And normally he's quite good with his feet, isn't he, Khawaja? But that ball was close to the outside edge. Was drifting across. Still overcast conditions, so perhaps the swing's making him a bit more hesitant. Having Smith at the other end, who isn't quite firing as of yet, but is getting closer to starting to get going. He just needs a couple nicer balls. Australia 350 all out, says Andy. It would make for an entertaining last couple of days.
Certainly would.
Because then England have to make that decision of how many runs do we want to go for before declaring again or getting bowled out.
Yeah. How many do we need for a chase? And how many do we need so that we can bowl? Or how much time do we need so that we can bowl Australia out again? Ultimately, you got to get 20 wickets to win.
Joe Root, this man insane. Says Andy Mike. Yeah, very well batted by Joe Root. Bairstow doing decently as well. I believe he ended up with about 76 off 76, somewhere around there. World Test Championship winner, says Andy Mike. Joe Root. Or against the World Test Championship winners, maybe. Yeah, old mate hasn't quite got it yet. World Cup winner. We are on our way. What do you say? Oh, so you're saying next World Test Championship cycle winners, England, I assume. Because how many years? Is it 2 years or 4 years? It must be 2 years that they cycle through, isn't it? I don't think the Ashes count towards the... Oh, right. That'd be important for both of these sides. There's actually some of Johnny Bairstow's batting.
just talking about looking to see if there was anything that suggested that he had a limp from his broken leg.
Mm. Ooh.
Oh, there you go. Righto.
They're trying to say that maybe Johnny Besto just had 6 months off rather than breaking his leg.
It's a conspiracy theory.
3 slips and the leg slip for Steve Smith. Short ball, that's the one that they're trying to get him with.
Hmm.
I've got roses are red, violets are blue. I am fine. How are you? Says Andy. Good, good. Going all right. 11:30 almost here in New Zealand, so only another maybe 35 minutes or so of the session. But if England can pick up another wicket here,
Yep.
there's
Exactly the same-
danger.
Exactly the same scenario as what it was yesterday. 3 wickets in the session. If you can get 3 wickets in the first session, you're in the box seat, or you've played well.
And the big difference is they haven't got the runs.
Aussie probably won't get to 124 in the first session. But certainly, yeah, if England can pick up another wicket here, or even 2 wickets, it's certainly well and truly England's session.
Jay has said roses red, violets blue. Sorry, I'm late. I needed a poo. Jay, welcome in, Jay.
Wow.
It's been a little while since we've seen you. I hope you've been keeping well. Seems like a weird thing to say after you've said that, but yeah, hopefully it all went
Yeah.
smoothly for you.
Mhm.
Distracted Sports has said England on top here will force a rash shot shortly. Yeah, they haven't been ticking
Yeah.
over those runs.
It's just, yeah, there's a little bit of pressure starting to mount.
Oh, and that was a little bit of a unorthodox shot from Khawaja. Wasn't hugely short.
Let's get away from it. It's basically a pull shot from about 2/3 up off stump, isn't it?
Mm.
Um,
They are saying he's comfortable off the back foot.
playing
The
that pull
reason
shot.
for that is because of the lack of foot movement.
Mm.
He's just ready to play that one. Can New Zealand win the World Cup? I don't think this year is going to be the year.
What
The
are we talking
ODI
about?
World
Cricket.
Cup? Yeah,
Oh, cricket.
I believe so.
Mm.
Just subcontinental conditions, we never go that well in anyway, do we?
No.
With it being in India, we've never had a specialist spinner for a while that can really compete with those top guys. So yeah, it's going to be a
Yeah.
tough day at the office. I think. G'day, Hamish and Dad. I hope you're both warm and well, says Jay. Doing all right, Jay. Fire might still maybe have a couple embers in there.
Couple of embers, maybe.
Yeah.
I'd say.
I got sweatpants on. These things are great. What do you got on? You got kind of rain
Golfy ones.
track pant things. for
Mhm.
Golf, yeah.
Right, Moen to continue.
Is this first time we've seen Smith facing
Yes.
Moen Ali?
Yep.
It's taken a while. How many overs Moen in? This is going to be his third.
He's into his 3rd over, so that's the thing. They're just not getting that rotation of the strike, are they?
They'll get one there. Steve Smith off the mark. Starlead, but now Khawaja, his job is to try and create that same thing at the other end. And he's been advancing because he wants to keep that strike rotating,
Yep.
but hasn't been able to actually put it onto the scoreboard. Smith is going to be out 2 overs time. He isn't comfortable.
Well, I don't know about that. He's just starting to, but he's got through to 11 now, so he's almost got a start, effectively. So he's getting harder and harder to get out, I think.
Besto for that one actually was telling Joe Root that one was going to be yours. Khawaja missed it. Our street's very busy tonight.
He's very busy tonight.
You got to do the drug deals at night time or else everyone sees you, don't they?
Must be. That'll be it.
No run taken. Man, that shawarma was lush. The roti was so soft and chewy.
Oh.
There you go.
Mhm.
I don't even know what a shawarma is. Oh, that's the use of the feet. Got it over the top of the man down the ground. And Khawaja now moves himself to 36 runs.
Starting to
On the board.
yeah. Starting to get a bit more comfortable out here, I think. They survived the initial movement, the initial swing.
Use of the feet there. Shot. Says Australia Sports. Right, Moanali, how does he answer
Mm.
that tactic from Kawaja? Got to be back on the stumps, don't you? Oh, that stayed low. That skidded onwards. You only do the big truck deals at night, says Grant. Yeah, true. I mean, I saw a fella just out there get taken away in the cop car a few weeks ago. Walked down the street with their machinery, and then came back with the man and went right here and there. Bye bye. And they drove off, never to be seen again. Showing Ricky Ponting with his medium paces. That's probably what they were attempting with the Harry Brook.
Well, they were just saying about Harry Brooks being referred to him as a filthy bowler
Mm.
and all the rest of it. But,
Who was that? Was that Rob Key? No.
that was Mark Taylor. Right.
It's almost a double bouncer, isn't it? Shot.
All but the double bouncer.
Steve's starting to
Absolute
find
shocker.
it, isn't he?
Mhm.
Hit down the ground, Stuart Broad, well fielded there by him. Throwing the body on the line. Good arm from in the deep as well, so they will manage to get through for the 3. Delivery guy dropping off, says Blues Nate. Speaking of delivery guys, I should mention I got my hard drive back today. Some of you will know that about 2 or 3 months ago I sent away a hard drive to the Netherlands, hoping that it would return working, and it kind of has. It's got an encryption password on it.
Absolute rubbish that was. But anyway.
You got the wicket though, didn't it? I wouldn't have been expecting it. I once bought, well, I'll tell you what, I bought more than one double bouncer throughout my time. I was thinking getting that one to go across Kawaja again, and that was a double bouncer going through too. Biesto stays a little bit low.
75 mile an hour, that one. So maybe just took a little bit off it.
Still shining frantically, England, trying to get that ball, get a bit more swing. It kind of, the swing's disappeared a bit, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It only swung for maybe 2 or 3 overs, and it could be because now it seems like the sun's come out.
Yeah. The initial cloud cover's gone a little bit, probably.
Lead side by Kawaja, straight out to the man.
I think England are going to have to work very hard here to get wickets, I think.
Broad runs like a disabled giraffe. Well, it's an effectively quick one, isn't it? He got to that one on the boundary well enough, old Broad. Brooks having a great time, having a big old laugh. Because I think this English side, I feel like there's still competitive nature in there, but they still are having a great time while doing it.
It's a really, really good team spirit.
Which I guess does come with winning, because they have won quite a bit recently, so you enjoy that. When you're losing, it's not so easy to smile and laugh.
Yeah, certainly easier to be enjoying your cricket when you're winning. He's got his feet up. It's all good.
Anderson warming up. Maybe going to have another bowl before the end of this session. Still theoretically 30 minutes remaining of this one. Nice sparkle hard drive. Oosh. Who's driving who? RJK says Nate. There's a bit of skiddiness.
Yeah, a little bit of variation on the bounce there. It was pretty, certainly those last couple there haven't got up.
Always took an early lead against Sweden. Jeez. That would be quite an upset.
No, they got all excited about it and then they got to hide.
Yeah. Poor boys, eh?
I thought, shit, we're good. No, we're not.
Aussie in score?
Hey?
Aussie in score?
No, not sure.
No. We will have a Google. Make us feel better about it.
It's probably about 3-1 or something like
that.
that.
Versus Sweden. Sweden in the football 4-1.
Yeah. So we took an early lead. Yeah. We had him on the ropes.
We just thought we were playing a shorter format.
Wow, we didn't realise it was actually going to be a 90-minute game.
No.
Yeah.
Good.
We were good for 10.
Ozzy Williams is here with the laughing face a little bit earlier on, shooting at demand. And England lacking firepower here. Australia or a pit of snakes. And the way to beat them is to take their heads off,
Oh,
says Grant.
yeah. Unfortunately, the pitch sort of hasn't got enough that pace in it to be blasting the ball through. Um,
They get a bit more sun today and maybe tomorrow, day 4, they
oh,
might start to
right. Moen
get
Island
in.
to continue to Steve Smith.
Need a couple 140 plus men,
Mm,
says Gareth. Well, that's the thing. They've taken away Mark Wood
mm.
out of the side. Joffre Archer's not there. There's a boo going around the ground. Not sure what someone's done in the crowd. Probably getting kicked out for a cup snake. That's what happened at the MCG, wasn't it?
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, cleaning up rubbish was frowned upon or something for some reason. Not sure what that was about, but
It was almost an arm ball from Moen Ali.
just because it encouraged people to drink their drink so that they can add to the cup snake. But
There we go.
the
Beach ball.
the old beach ball. Oh,
Oh, is he going to cut it open?
I thought he was going to stab it there.
Mm.
Oh,
That went
that
a
was
bit of
nearly
turn, huh?
balls up by Steve Smith.
Hamish's dad, you know, he had heaps of women's over when you was in Fiji, says Nuzzy Williams. He's saying that I had a lot of ladies around while you were away.
Ah,
Mhm.
is that what he's on about?
I don't think a single lady even stepped close to this house that I know of.
Only grandma from next door.
Yeah, that's true. She did come visit.
Yeah.
It's not our grandma, by the way, just an
Yeah.
elderly woman next door.
Yeah.
But then, because of it, I went and visited our grandma. So, it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wood was the key, says Gareth. And never good to take away Wood, says Grant. Into the Moen Ali over.
Certainly somebody with express pace is certainly handy. Even on slightly docile pitches. Just gives you that little bit of extra variation, a little bit extra firepower. Here's off Stokes. You can have him on, is he? No, he's going to take his clothes off first. What's that about? Put your clothes on, Stokesy.
He's just taking his pants off, I think.
What?
Maybe tucking in the top and then tying it up again. But he's still playing with it, or the pants, that is. 32 years of age. Talking about that Stokes knee, like I mentioned before, he had heavy strapping on it during one of the interviews that I saw. It was him, Owen Morgan, and another fella. I didn't actually get to see who the other guy was. I was just looking at Ben Stokes' knee. Okay, so they're saying he should be good, slowly improving. I wish we could lend England Anrik Nokia. And the good news is, if he gets hit by a spider cam, you know he's getting back up.
True.
Huh?
I don't think spider cams are in fashion here.
No.
Right. Stokesy to Smith.
2 slips.
Skipper to skipper.
Well.
Skipper to skipper.
Skipper to behind the scenes skipper. Oh, what's happened here? Is it a no ball? Looks like, yeah, he's waiting to stretch the arm, isn't he? Wait for it. There it is. Does bowl quite a few of them, Ben Stokes. And get it slightly wrong often.
What a really, really good start.
It's worse when he gets the wicket first ball.
Oh.
Trying to drive there, Steve Smith. Bit of a misfield. Still no.
I'm trying to save yourself, but the last thing you want to do is go 7 ball over, isn't it?
You can almost see that knee brace through, can't you? You see all that white strapping. There it is. It's that lead leg as well, which makes it tricky. And docile pitches, we got Waimea Comedy Gold. Says
that was a good ball.
Coming in a little bit. 131 Ks. And sorry, did you work off the slow blower blowing for England? Did you work off the slow bowler? I assume that is bowling for England and Asia.
Work out the slow bowler.
Oh yeah, Dom Bess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that I heard the name, it's in the head forever now. Until the next time I forget. under the broad walk, says Nate. Well, Stuart Broad, he might end up with a. Oh, do you think they'll give him a crack this session, or do you think they'll leave until the first next
Oh,
session?
he need another ball.
Oh, a lot of steps to go down with a lot of balls, isn't it?
I wonder all the knees are bugging.
That one's stuck.
Nah, that's near enough. Get on with the game. I wonder we only get 80 overs. Hey. They only got bloody quarter of an hour, 20 minutes of lunch. So, right, we'll swap it at lunchtime.
Well, this adds a new dynamic because with a new ball, is it going to swing? Is it going to seam?
It's sort of, sometimes it changes, doesn't it?
We've root a couple. Argentina's arm over, says Gareth. That's the thing. They've almost used up all of their bowling options other than root. I don't think there's too many others who they would give a crack. Bairstow won't bowl.
He's having a good day, though. Give him a crack.
Who else they got in the field? Pope. I don't think Pope will bowl. Duckett. Duckett might do a couple of leggies. Crawley's actually not terrible with off spin, I don't think. Or I might be thinking of the wrong guy there, but they might chuck in another part timer just to see how it goes. Australia sitting 64 for 2 after 24.2 overs. So taking slowly approaching, I guess you could say.
3 and over.
And Ali was a bad selection, sorry, but really bad selection. Here's Gareth. Well, it just seemed slightly strange. And on a blanket, with my baby, where I'll be, says Nate for under the broad walk. Blowing in India, don't think they get paid enough for that, says Fluffy. That's a bit of movement away.
A bit of movement there.
Trying not to let it get in his head. So I'll ask you the question: how do you get Steve Smith out? What's the dismissal? Is it going to be a bold? Is it going to be a court somewhere? Where are you saying he's going to find his demise?
Caught it short mid wicket.
Okay.
We haven't got a fielder in there at the moment, but I think that's the spot.
Work to lead side again. I need to learn how to do that shot. If I had that shot, I'd be lethal. Well, there's old Patel. I don't know who to support. May the best team win. I'll wait for the World Cup, says Chalabi. He's getting closer, isn't it? Just around the corner. State of Origins on Wednesday.
Yep.
Plenty more events taking place. The Under-20 World Cup coming up as well.
This over seems to have taken a long time to go.
It has.
Right.
They replaced the ball. Oh, yeah. Now I moved a little bit as well.
All you need to do is replace a batsman now.
If you can get Travis Head out at the middle before the end of this session and try and give him a couple deliveries just to test him out, try and get the early wicket like they did. For Marnus, did you hear like 7 cracks when I just sat up straight? It's still cracking.
No, I was listening.
It'll be good for you this chair, doesn't it?
They're comfy.
Ooh.
A bowl.
That was a well bowled ball from Stokes. Close out is over.
Right, finally. Yep.
65 for 2.
25 overs.
It's not going to be a quick fix to get to that 328 trail, is it?
2.6, 2.7 and over.
They'll still be batting tomorrow unless the wicket's full.
I think that's a given that if they bat through the day, still will be behind.
And they may be behind by about 150, if not maybe.
You'd like to think they'll get going a little bit later on, maybe. So they might be behind by 100, 300 in a day.
I guess with Travis Head, if he scores a few runs, he'll speed it up for them.
Yeah.
Smith on strike to Moen Ali. Pitch is starting to do a little bit for the spinners. A couple have stayed low. J Bud, you look tired? Early night for you guys, says Chalabi. There. Yeah, I've been up fair bit. Weekends are always when you don't really sleep that much. Definitely not with like late night live streams. Like the thing is, we are doing something early tomorrow morning, which means sadly we can't cover Curry Cup games or the whole day of the Ashes. The original plan was just to do this first session. That also means that like I'll be up early tomorrow, which means I'll have a big day right through to probably like 2 a.m. tomorrow night when I get up, just because I'll edit for like 6 hours after the All Blacks announcement. Good fun. I like editing. I should hire you as an editor, shouldn't I?
No.
Although I can't pay myself, let alone pay you. So
Yeah.
you work
Nothing.
because you're my buddy, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Or India. If it had more Hardik Pandas in the team,
Mhm.
there's Fluffy. Johnny Bairstow really liked that ball. Comment was, oh my goodness. Steve Smith hit it to the leg side. But yeah, the lack of strike rotation is slightly concerning for Australia.
Yeah. It seems to be that they're just content to keep the good ball out and then wait for the full ball to hit.
Do you think it's a long game tactic? You know, thinking about wearing out the English bowlers before
Yeah.
maybe the second test or
A little bit of that, but they're probably conscious of how fast England scored their runs, of course. So the test matches progressed.
mm,
So, like you were saying earlier in that, Aussie can afford to be a little bit more patient here because ultimately they're trying to run down a bit of the clock as well. Um, they don't want to get into a situation where if they get the runs too early, then you're day two. You get it. You've still got 3 days of the test match left, or 2.5 days of the test match left.
mm.
If England get away to a flyer again, all of a sudden,
Oh, that's some nice in swing
yeah,
for Stokes.
you've got 400 to chase or 450 to chase, and you've got 2 days
Mm.
that you have to survive.
This new ball seems to be doing a little bit, doesn't it?
Nice to see him.
Puts him in the thigh pad. Kawaja. They can pick up a wicket just before lunch.
Similar to what Australia did with Crawley yesterday.
Yeah.
Um,
Last 25 balls, only 6 runs scored.
yeah,
So it's really hit a halt. Run rate of 1.38.
and one of those would have been a 4.
Yep. And then that's almost all the runs. It's all straight, isn't it? And as soon as it was slightly wonky,
Yeah.
that's when Kawaja was able to get himself the runs. He's just waiting for the bad ball, like you said, and just trying to keep out the good ball.
Yeah.
The thing, though, at the moment is England are bowling quite a few good balls. They're not really
Not getting a lot of
straying
free
away.
hits. But that's Test cricket, isn't it?
Mm.
Battle of attrition.
Oh, it's another no ball.
Yep.
I would guess. He's waiting. There it is. No ball from Ben Stokes.
Oh, well, we've got to stop that shit.
No, well, he normally has a few of them.
No.
You normally allow 10 runs for Ben Stokes, no balls in a test match.
No.
You just hope it's not the one that he gets the wicket on.
No. Hard enough to get a wicket as it is without giving one away.
That might have also been why Stokes' over felt like it took forever, because he did bowl an extra ball in that last one too.
And he's going to in this one.
Currently, I believe 15 minutes still remaining. Normally, you want to finish the first session at 12, but I think they're going to 12:05 because they started 5 minutes late. Would that be correct?
Maybe.
Either way, only about 15 or so minutes remaining, maybe even 10.
Yep.
England, ideally, you want to get through about maybe 3 or 4 more. Probably 4, including this one. Swinging nicely, but Kawaja whips it down to deep fine leg.
Helping him along the way.
And Ali cuts it off. I want to have a beer with Big Papa, says Gareth. Well, I mentioned to him about the poker night that the boys had the other night. I think he was keen for that, weren't you? Bit of poker, the lads. They have 1 degree of swing rather than 0.5 degrees of swing. Stokes 2 balls remaining. 2 of the 4 runs that he's gone for have been from his front foot. Smith on strike now, relatively straight. I'll defend it again. Slightly different New Balance Steve Smith's had in the past. I think he's had a blue one, but that one's grey.
Oh, okay.
Or silver, so probably the newer model.
Ah, a little bit of variation.
Yeah. I'd love to have someone who just sends me cricket bats to use.
Rather than having to buy them all.
Yeah. Well, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Oh, now the way that Steve Smith. Oh, he's given.
Oh, that's a big
Tell you
call.
what. How long did he wait to give that one? Smith
That's-
has reviewed. He can't believe it.
That's a big call. I think
It's
it's
straight.
he's
It's
thinking
height.
high. He's thinking high.
I still don't understand what was happening with the poker, Steve Grant. You almost bet me, though. You almost took all
Right.
my money. Right. How high does this? Pops off the seam. He's quite deep in his crease.
He is quite deep, and he's not very tall.
No, the way he fell forward, I think, maybe made Marius Erasmus think. It's a tricky one. Because, I mean, from that angle, it looks like maybe it's...
Right, there's
it's-
no back.
I think it's going to be umpire's call for height.
I tell you
And
what,
I think Steve
Aussie be
Smith's going to be
dirty.
livid.
Yeah, Aussie be dirty on this if it is.
Here we go. Impact in line. Oh, it's 3 reds. Okay, that makes it slightly better.
John!
Steve Smith on. I mentioned it before.
Big workout.
He's happy. He got it right.
Brassey's going, I got this bastard right. Nailed it.
There was weird stuff going down, but it was fun. He was a pretty good player. There's Gavin. Here we go. Says the straight and the low. Says number. Welcome in. Just before the lunch break. Again.
I tell you what, Steve Smith actually looked disgusted that he'd been given out there,
Mm.
didn't he?
Yep.
Absolutely disgusted when
He
the
couldn't
umpire put his
believe it.
finger up. He's going, what the hell? What are you on about? Mate, you're dreaming.
Nice bowling, says Skip. Very good ball, Ben
And he's
Stokes.
still not happy.
But he believes the technology's wrong.
Yep, that's
That's
it.
exactly what it is. Not just livid at the shot selection. He's skipping steps. Oh no, he's going to fall down the steps. Please don't fall. It's the first thing that happens, isn't it? He's going to go back,
You trip on the step, fall over, smack your nose.
have a cuddle with Marnus, and tell him it's all right.
It's all right, Marnus.
Ben Stokes, though, picking up the wicket. How much of it? He was appealing all day, but he was the deepness in his crease. He was caught only.
It's behind the
Yeah,
behind
way
the pocket
behind the
press.
line.
Yeah. Hitting halfway up the
Just-
stump. Halfway.
just.
Yeah.
Probably about that far off an umpire's call, which would have made him more angry, I would think.
Middle of the ball.
Now, 3 down. Travis Head now. Few balls. This is exactly what I said that England wanted to do.
Yep.
Get Travis Head out there for a few deliveries before the lunch break. Now, Aussie sitting 3 down. And to be fair, the Garden Gnomes look, or normal look, is disgusted, says Grant.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
It was more of a, he kind of did
He
the,
just looked absolutely shocked, didn't he? How could that man possibly give me out?
What a game between the Chiefs and the Brumbies. A try from Brody on the 78 minutes. Yeah, he did well, big Brody.
Yeah, no, I love that.
Big man, get in the try.
Big fan of Brody Retallick. Man's just got a huge gas tank. Huge ticker.
Well, you see him in the Broncos with the All Blacks, and he's running it normally at the same pace as some of the other backs.
Yep.
And he just keep going.
And he just keeps going. I remember watching one test match of that, and it was late in the game, 75 plus minutes, 78 minutes. And he made a tackle, and then he got up, and he chased the winger, basically, and made a tackle on him, which stopped him getting away. And you're thinking, this guy's run his guts out for 70 plus minutes, 75 minutes, and he's still got enough heart to get up off the ground and go again. And just huge credit, mental toughness and just the ability to or the desire to stay in the game. And exactly the same as this, 78th minute, he'd had a buddy, he'd had a big game. A lot of defense, A lot of runs, a lot of lineouts, scrums, all the rest of it. Big Brody's putting his hand up, going, "Give me the ball. I'm going to have a crack."
I said normally likes a bit of spin. That's an aggressive shot from him early on.
Wow,
Sweep shot.
It was a pretty shit ball.
Was a rough
Right?
down leg side.
That was a bit of a gift actually from Molinari, which was probably the first one that he's really just thrown down there.
Although he's got to feel kind of set for it.
Yeah, but he hasn't. Yeah,
but not when a batsman hits it that well.
He hasn't got it set for a bloody rank ball like that.
He's sitting on 4 off 3. Kawaja, to his credit, he's still in the middle.
Yep.
Because he's seen batsmen come and go at the other end. He's been on 38 for an eternity. Or around those 30.
It does seem he slowed right down to below 50% now. So.
Moeen Ali again. Well, that was off the inside edge.
Oh, no run now.
The end of the over, 72 for 3.
We'll get another Stokesy over in.
And then maybe 1 or 2 more after that. If we go into 05, we might actually get another.
Yep, they might get another couple there.
But that's one of the examples, once again, of the ball. He said, "Hi, we're TTT, wanted to." Yeah, he's disappointed. He's going, "No, that's not true." The machine's lying. I wonder if Kawaja thought it was out. Imagine if Kawaja had said, "No, I thought that one was going to hit the stumps." Steve would have dropped him on the spot. Kawaja now on strike to Stokes. So he can pick him up now as well. Wow, big full toss. Give him one of those. Warner needs to give that dolly back to Sonny Bill for the night. Seems like now I don't know that word per se, but I believe it's something to do with something sexual.
Oh.
I think.
Right. Okay.
I don't really know.
Leave that one then.
You know? Don't know all the fancy stuff, you know.
Yeah. Right.
Outside off, he thought about cutting, but he did manage to pull out of it.
He did think about having a bit of a slash at that, didn't he?
He was keen.
It's one of those ones where you even get screwed down, getting screwed down, and all the rest of it, and you're not scoring any runs, and then all of a sudden, you've got one there that you want to, eyes light up. Gonna have a he nearly hung it out there long enough, didn't he?
Almost a little bit of a feather. And that's how Kawaja lost his place the last time he was dropped. He questioned the almighty Smith.
Yeah, you might be right, actually. Nice bit of movement there away.
So it's best to just go, okay, Steve, you can try out that one. And then when you see him later on, you go, geez, that technology's a bit rough, isn't it?
I didn't think you were out.
Sir. It's Sir on there as well.
Yeah, sir.
Just in case.
Sorry, sir. That's certainly a big wicket before lunch, isn't it?
Yep.
Sitting there looking at the difference now is 50 odd runs to what England had yesterday.
Well, I have information. England at this stage, first session, when they lost that wicket at Crawley, they were on 124.
Yeah.
So, to be that far behind, another wicket falling here, the stat that I was looking for was that next one, which is 175, which they'd be 100 runs behind if they lose a wicket right now before lunch.
Yep.
They should get one more over in. That said, I'm back in a little bit.
Good leave.
Okay, they've just realised that there was the 5 pass. So that means we're probably, there's a chance we could see another Stokes over if they get through Moeen Ali relatively quickly. The only problem is Travis Head likes to be aggressive, so that might be ball to the boundary perhaps. But now, if there's a wicket here...
Erasmus won't work very fast. between overs. Here we're looking for his lunch.
Mm. Yeah, if there's
Mhm.
the wicket here, it's not lunch, but the next one is going to be this field there. Stuart Broad, I believe they'll be able to get just the two here. I heard a yes and then a no, so I think they decided against the third.
Settled on 2, so yep. So that's what they wanted. They wanted another over at head.
That's what they call someone who watches. Yeah. There you go.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
Tony's like the kind of he knows all the information about. Well, not about that kind of thing. I don't know what he does in his spare time, but knows terms.
Aha.
England will look to wrap up Australia under 300 from here. Smith still disappointed as he was walking off the field.
Yeah, no, not a heavy budget.
Molinari
He should have hit the bloody thing, shouldn't he?
makes it easier. Waj is 10 away from his half century. Heads on strike for Molinari. We've got 3 minutes remaining of this session.
Just put the guy at square leg just a little bit deeper. About halfway between the.
There's a little bit of hustle from the fielders, but no hustle from Molinari to get through this over. He's just chilling.
Wow.
I would have thought you'd want a shot from Travis Head. That's going to make it tricky because that one's racing all the way to the boundary.
Somebody will have to go and get that.
And it won't be Travis Head. You don't want to pierce it through that gap. Or annoy the bowler. You've got it set for that shot. Just not quite there.
Probably just a little bit full. It was right there for it, wasn't it? Allowed him to keep it down.
Here's a stat for you. Oh, Peach. That one's spun and bounced.
A little bit shorter.
Over half of the runs for Australia so far in this innings have come from boundaries.
Yeah.
40 runs on boundaries. 38 from singles and twos.
That spun a heap.
That took off.
That's certainly something to think about, isn't it?
Oh! That one was nice as well from Ali. That one, he's found the spot.
He's found the spot. He's found the lane.
Teeny place out there. Oh, it's just the information about England. Header's come out with a bit of intent. That was close to the outside edge, wasn't it?
Very, very close.
Balls remaining. Oh, that one stayed down. The crowd like it. It's down leg, though.
Yeah. That one didn't spin.
I swear everything I'm saying, Michael Atherton's also saying now. I feel like I've got to come up with some really unorthodox stuff. Did see Smith was overcautious and defensive lacking intent. Well, they were just trying to see out the session almost at that stage, I'd say.
Yeah, I don't know.
There wasn't much aggressiveness. Oh, and that one, tell you what, he's beaten him 4 times in a row here almost. That's the end of the over, and we're only at 12:04. There's time for one more. I believe it's going to be Ben Stokes. Does bowl it. I should mention it will be the last over that we do cover on the day for the channel. Mainly because sleep is kind of important.
Reasonably important. Joe Root's going to have a ball.
Joe Root. Normally decent, Joe Root, with a little bit of off spin. I also realise it sounds like they boo him, don't they? But it's just rude to everyone. I'm just going to kiss him on the forehead there. Head down. Right, so this is probably the last bowling option that they might use in this game in terms of the bowling choices.
Yes, 5 for 8.
Yeah, he had a very good. That was actually not a huge while ago.
No.
When was that? Yeah, a couple.
Yeah, 54 wickets. So he's not the worst bowler in the world.
He picks up some crucial ones.
Yeah.
And I think from that last over of Mo and Ali, they've gone, okay, there's a bit of spin here.
There might be a little bit of turn.
Singing Joe Root's song. The Beatles wrote that song for Joe Root. Did you know that?
Clearly.
Johnny Bairstow's very vocal behind the stumps today.
He's getting right into it, isn't he?
Happy to be back.
He's just trying to build that bit of extra pressure on the batsman, or make the batsman think that there's more pressure.
out wide, seeing if Kawaja wanted it. He declines the offer. No, thank you. I'm okay for now. I haven't actually seen. Has he played a cut shot? Usman Kawaja.
Don't believe so. No.
Played a couple
No, he hasn't.
pulls.
Yeah, a couple of pull shots, a couple of cover drives.
No cuts as of yet.
No.
Oh,
he chased that one.
That was a slightly wider full delivery.
Yeah.
And Kawaja's laughing about it because he doesnn't know what he was going to do with it if he had got penalty. That was just.
Well, I'll tell you what he was going to do with it. There's a bit of drift in there, but
it was going to be more of a block than just maybe straight to the slip corner. Yeah, just tempting him. He's just going to leave it alone. Have a look at Discord, says Nod Mum. I will try at the end of this over, although if it comes up on this screen, the whole screen will probably crash. Just because this screen doesn't seem to like me at the moment.
2 balls to go.
Yeah, left alone again. I want to see him bowl a little bit straighter here, Root.
He's just trying to bring it in quietly, isn't he?
He's trying to tempt him.
Yeah.
I feel like the tempting, he's not going to quite go for that wide one. So maybe give him the straight one now. Or do you go wider with this last ball now that maybe you make him think that it's going to be straight?
I think he's got the mindset that
the fact that they've got a leg slip as well.
They're obviously going to try and bowl it a bit straighter. But
last ball of the session. You'd have to play it. That one was Kawaja, but that will be the end of a productive first session for the English. 3 wickets falling.
Well bowled, England.
We've got to remember as well, Australia already had about 21 runs at the start of the day.
14, let's not exaggerate.
14, sorry, extra 7. So that means that they have only got themselves around that 65 marks.
Yeah.
64. Yeah, it was roundabout, you know.
Yes.
Will you be back for session 2?
Nah. Look, if you had to wait a wee bit longer.
We're going to be leaving coding. We've decided that we're going to go to a casino and gamble all our money away.
Yeah.
But also just that we're going to go to sleep because we have to leave early tomorrow. That's more of the plan, isn't it? I didn't get to go to the casino in Christchurch, which was very sad.
You would have gone good at the casino, like a little bastard like you.
I just like looking at the lights. Like, interesting session. England probably in the driving seat at this stage. Yeah, it's 64 runs. It's half of what the English were able to get.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's not
certainly
great.
England session, I think. Yep.
Oh, okay. The Discord is opened on this screen, so we're in with half a shot. That was the view from FMG. That's a smart view, though, because you're underneath the cover. So when it was pouring down with rain, you wouldn't have ended up getting too wet. That looks like
something.
What is that? I want to say that that's some sort of pudding, but I don't know if it is. Maybe. Not too sure. Cool. Yeah, nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. It has been myself and it has been my dad, who is next to me. And we will possibly be back for tomorrow's first session. I'm not too sure yet. Might have to get me wallet out, organise a contract negotiation deal. See what we can do. Nonetheless, like a little bastard, that's what we are changing your name to.
What do you say?
Yeah.
Hi.
I sometimes have a bit of luck. Sure, Broad, though, the celebration, he had a bit of luck, didn't he? David Warner hitting that ball onto his stumps. Also getting Labuschagne out early in this session. Yeah, nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for the All Blacks squad selection naming. We are going to be starting maybe about either 30 or an hour beforehand so that we can break down who we would have on our side, who we think is going to squeeze in, everything along those lines. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Normally at this stage, I'd be like, check out my dad's YouTube channel, but he doesn't have one yet. Hey? Not happening? No, I told you that uploading can take 2.5 hours, and you'd be like, nah, all good. He's just going to be in the videos. Maybe. Unless we'll see you all for the next one.